Another technique when editing is to actually put video on multiple tracks. So in this video, we're going to actually put our cutaway on the second track, on track V2, to hide this edit as well as give us some flexibility because it'll be easier to slide that clip back and forth and make it longer or shorter without affecting the media on line 1. So our primary concern is I cut out a big chunk of this recording and I have a jump cut now between shot 02 and 03. Let's take a quick look. So I go right from cutting all the way to taking the pizza and eating it. So if I cut to a close-up of me actually cutting the pizza, which we actually did as an override edit earlier, I can hide that edit point. So if we scroll down and select close-up cutting shaky and load that into our source monitor, I have a nice cutaway that I can work with. I'll worry about things like audio and color correction and stabilizing later. I just want to be able to cover up this edit point. Now I've already marked a good in and out point. The in point is right when I start the cut. And then it just goes on, but actually stops before I finish cutting the last slice. And I just want to shorten this anyway. So I'm going to go down and grab it and drag it to my timeline. And we've done this before, but in this case, instead of bringing it down to video 1, I'm going to bring it down and drop it onto track 2, or V2. Now I'm going to line it up with the in point that I already have, but just to show you the flexibility of working on a second track, I'll put it a little bit off, and you can see how it doesn't quite work and how easy it is to adjust it because it's on a second track. So obviously there's some continuity there. I'm going to simply slide it back and it will snap to the right point. Let's take a look at how it feels when we watch it. Okay. Now the timing is great, but of course it does jump out at us because of the change in audio. And I also want to trim off the end of the first clip on the track 1. So let me quickly grab the edge of that clip and bring it back. This is a skill that we learned in a previous video, and I'll also right-click and do a ripple delete to bring shot 03 right next to shot 02. And also, just so we're not distracted by the sound, I'm going to mute the audio on track 2, and we'll learn a lot more about audio later in the course. Now let's see how the edit looks with these slight adjustments.
Completely.
Okay. So. Neatness does not count. Well, neatness might not count when cutting a pizza, but it surely counts when editing a video. And the beautiful thing here is I could move this clip back and forth just a frame or two at a time so my audio matches up perfectly. Now, I want to show you one more thing before we finish up with working with multiple tracks, and I want to show you what would happen if we put something on the third track. So I've created a text file that you can drag on top, and the text file actually has some transparency to it. So you'll see the text, and you'll see through the text to the actual video on the second layer, and it's all obscuring the video on the very bottom. So we'll scroll down, and I have text that I created in the titling tool called Do Not Try This at Home. I'll simply throw that on top and stretch it out and drive home the point that people shouldn't be cutting pizzas in their own house. Okay. Now, we'll learn a lot about creating titles later on in the course, but this should give you a general comfort zone in using multiple tracks or multiple layers when creating a video.